From about age 4 or 5, I was sent into a boarding nursery school. I lived in boarding school at a very early age because my parents wanted to protect me from becoming a local Ibadan girl. My first question is, who are you? Because you cannot even begin anything without first understanding who you are. Who are you? Who do you think you are? What do you think you're made of? Who do you think you have been created to be? What do you think is the essence of you? What purpose has been set before you based on who you are? If you have no understanding of who you are, you will definitely not be able to take the right decisions every time you get to a point. And guess what? The totality of your life is the summation of the choices and the decisions that you will make every day of your life. It's okay when you were a baby. Parents made decisions for you. It's all right when you're still a teenager. You take some responsibility or some responsibility is assigned to you, but excuses are still made for you. But once you begin to cross into mature teenage, people begin to expect that you will have a sense of responsibility to take charge of the affairs of your life in a way. People begin to hold you accountable for the things that you do. But your understanding of who you are will empower you to make the right choices. I have seen many confused people in my life, young and old. I have seen people in their 50s who still haven't figured who they are. And because they lack an understanding of who they are, they lack the ability to make the right decisions to support who they are. Who are you? Your father's child? That's part of it. Your mother's child? That's part of it. Male or female? That's a descriptive figure. It just tells that you've got something that somebody else doesn't have. That's what the male or the female describes to you. Beyond that, you both have 2 eyes, you have 1 mouth, 1 nose, 2 hands. I haven't seen the men have 3 hands and the women 2 hands. You have 2 legs, you have a brain. Essentially, there are many factors that are the same. So you're male, you're female, that's descriptive. Okay, you come from, in Nigeria, you like to describe yourself by your state. Who cares where you come from? Whether you come from Ondo, or you come from Ibadan, or you come from Ijebu, or you are from Mokpa, or anywhere else, or whether you're British, you're American, whatever, wherever, who cares? That's not who you are. That's only a description of where you have come from, or where you were born. It's only a description of maybe what passport you hold. That's not who you are. Who are you? The son of a rich man, the daughter of a successful woman, the son of a poor man, Ajegunle born, Ikoyi bred, a papa raised. Who cares? What does it matter? Who are you? Let's strip all the packaging. Let's remove all the covering. Let's take out the things that deceive you, that distract you, that helps you to make wrong decisions. Because once you take, I'm a science graduate, and every person here that understands angles, you know that if this is a straight line, if I take the tiniest turn off that straight line, the divergence I will achieve can be so massively different from where I set to go. This is the line. This is where I want to go. But I slightly make this turn. When you look at it, it really doesn't look like I've made any substantial turn. But when I begin to walk that turn, see how far away I am from there. So a misinterpretation or misunderstanding of who you are can lead you into the wrong place. Who are you? Take out all the coverings. Take out all the earthly descriptions. Take out all the distractions. It's like a present. I want to give my husband a gift. I buy a really expensive watch, but it's in a small box. and then I take a big carton and I put it in. And inside the big carton, there's a smaller carton and a smaller carton until it gets to the actual box of Rolex. It's a long journey to the actual thing. Most of us have so much packaging. We have forgotten who we really are. So today, I want you to take away the packaging. Remove your state of origin. Remove your nationality. Remove who your father is. Remove who your mother is. Remove all those things. Remove where you were born. Remove the bank balance of your parents, because it doesn't count. It can help you to have a head start, but it doesn't help you to get to where you're going. I have seen many children with everything, not silver spoon, not gold spoon, with platinum spoon or diamond studded spoons, but they've ended up in drug rehabilitation centers with their parents running helter-skelter. I have seen children who have everything amount to nothing. So we're not talking about those things, because I know that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And I can tell you better than anybody else, because I know where I came from. My mother is not Nigerian, so it's not about nationality. My mother is a Cameroonian. My father is Nigerian, so what's that? I'm called a Nigerian, but really, who cares? I am me. That's the most important thing. What do I travel with? A Nigerian passport, with pride. But that's not who I am. Who I am is me. My parents had me. My father went off to England to go to school before I was born. He left my mother pregnant with me. My mother had me, and before I was a year old, left to join her husband in England, and I was left with my grandmother. So, maybe for some people, they will be stuck at, oh God, they should have just taken me to that London. I should have been born British, because then I would have been born in London. I would have had a British passport. It would have been a curse in my life. Because a number of my friends that I know that were born British, as soon as we finished university, they all left. Or secondary school, they went to England. The reality is, between the ones that went to England and the ones that had no right to go to live in England, that stayed in Nigeria, there is a world, and there's a world of difference. And considering I grew up with my grandmother before my parents came back like 8 years after, spent my first, from at age 4 or 5, I was sent into a boarding nursery school. I lived in boarding school at a very early age because my parents wanted to protect me from becoming a local Ibadan girl. My first exposure to business was my grandmother's little shop where she sold salt. And I used to love to sit behind her little kiosk and help her to sell the salt. But who knew I was being trained for business in my future, but totally different from the salt that my grandmother was selling. Who are you? After you've answered it as you understand it, I want to tell you some of who the Bible says that you are. Why is that important? When you buy a TV and you want to understand how to take charge of it and use it effectively, what do? You go to the manufacturer's manual. The manual tells you things you might not know, because it's very easy to make assumptions from the little you knew before about another TV, or to make assumptions based on your friend's TV or the TV of old. But technology changes every day, so perchance something major has changed concerning the new TV that you have bought, and only the manufacturer knows. Nobody here was created by anybody else but God. If you are, please put up your hand so we can ask where your own manufacturer is. But we know who are manufacturers. Who is your manufacturer? And if he's your manufacturer and you're a Christian, where is his manual? Show me your manual. This is his manual. And don't ever be deceived. The world will give you many, many solutions, but nobody knows you like your manufacturer. And the interesting thing is, even though we all have the same Bible, We have the same Bible. We will read the same scriptures. We will take the same promises. We will read the same word. But the who that you are, in the context of the same word, is specific to you. That's why you must know who you are, so that you never ever want to live the life of another. So you never want to be a copy of anybody else. So you're never miserable on the day somebody else is achieving, because your own day will come. So you're not miserable on the day somebody else is getting married, because the guy she's marrying is not the guy for you. So you don't want to marry just the next guy that wants to marry you, because if it's the wrong guy for you, he will damage you. Because your manufacturer has designed the perfect plug for you. But you must know who you are. And knowing who you are by your manufacturer's definition, by your manufacturer's design, is the foundation of who you can be. It is that understanding of who you are that keeps you steady. It is that understanding of who you are that keeps you strong. It is that understanding of who you are that makes you stand against the wiles of the enemy. It is that understanding that keeps you facing the storm and saying, because you know who you are. You know what God has called you to. Every time I face a major challenge in business, I go to God and I say, I know you. You will not place my feet upon a rock and remove it from under. You have called me to this place to be an ambassador in the marketplace. Nothing can move me. Then I turn and face the enemy and say, "Whoa, look at me well. This is who I am, and I know who I am." When you know who you are, you cannot be cheated. You have to invest time in understanding who you are. And no matter what happens around you, don't shift ground. Because everything will be trying to shift you from the ground of understanding of who you are. First and foremost, you must know that you are a child of God. It is the foundation of everything else that you know about yourself. Why is it important? So when you're not sure of anything else, you will remember who your father is. I'm a child of God. Then you think, if I'm a child of God, who is God? Because my father watches my back. So if I understand that I'm a child of God, I must then seek to understand who God is. In my understanding of who God is, I understand the power that he represents. And in understanding the power that he represents, I understand the opportunities he has placed before me. And it is the taking of those opportunities that helps me to accelerate in my emergence as a leader. Do you know how leaders emerge? There are gaps and there are spaces. And there are people needed to fill them. Everybody thinks it's this person or that person. Some children of God who have been endowed and empowered, but who do not know who they are, will step back from the space that has opened for them. Because, like you saw in the drama, distractions, fear, failure, lack of confidence, low self-esteem. If you don't know that you're a child of God and that God has all the power in the heavens and on earth to make everything work for you, you will run away from opportunities that open to you and you will not take it, even though the Lord has positioned you for it. I'm a friend of Jesus. You know, I'm going to try and give you the scriptures, but I'm also going to try and run. So I'm God's child, Galatians 3:26. Read it after. I'm Jesus' friend, John 15:15. If you're somebody's friend, it means that you share intimacies. It means that you're someone that Jesus speaks with and has a relationship with. And what does that relationship, what does it do for you? It helps you through. It grants you wisdom. It grants you understanding. I go to every board meeting saying, Father, it is you and I. seated at this table. Open my eyes to the things that I should not know, but that I need to know. Fill my mouth with the right words that I need to speak at the right time. Grant me courage to speak the words that everybody else is afraid to speak. But when you know who your Father is, and you know that God is with you, who can be against you? And if God has said to you that everything will work together for your good, you'll have the courage to take some steps that many people will not be able to take. Understanding that Jesus is your friend is understanding that you need to build your relationship with Jesus. And in building that relationship, you become empowered, emboldened, you have courage. When you're spending time with someone, you will spend time. If Jesus is your friend, you have to spend time in those scriptures, because you will discover more about your friend. And as you read the scriptures, you will discover his promises to you. You will discover the power that you have. You will discover that there is a word for every situation that you can be in. You will discover that when people are having meetings, trying to decide who goes where, there is someone who is your friend, who sits at every meeting as an advocate for you. And he makes sure that you're the one that fits into the positions where you need to emerge. He quickens your step because he facilitates your move. He's your friend. He's looking out for you. Jesus is your friend.